All right, I think we're live now. What's happening, everyone? For those of you watching, either you're watching live now or you're watching in the future, I appreciate you coming on to the live chat. This is still a new thing for me and still figuring this out. But we have Felipe, and help me with your last name. Is it Fagundes? Because I'm Puerto Rican, so I'm not gonna do it Portuguese.
Perfecto.
Oh,
Perfect.
great.
Fagundes. Yeah.
Yes. So, dude, it is a great honor for me to have you on the show. I was so excited when you said, "Yeah, let's do it. Let's do a live chat." So, Cajon Master. Many of you may be already familiar with Felipe's work there, and so I just wanted to chat about Cajons, about Felipe's background, and just it's a hot topic. It's been for a few years. The whole world of the Cajon, as far as the mainstream, right? Felipe, as far as pop music is concerned, rock and gospel, blues, everything outside of the zamacueca and lando and flamenco. But yeah. So, anyways, Felipe from Cajon Master, thanks for joining us, man.
Thanks for having me. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah. So you have a growing channel, but you also have the cajonmaster.com. Did you do that at the same time, or did you have cajonmaster.com and then the YouTube channel?
Was all together. I start my YouTube channel on 2018. This project, Cajon Master,
Yeah.
September 2018.
Okay.
And the cajonmaster.com, the website, start in the same time. Everything at the beginning, nothing slowly growing. But then from after 4 months, from 2 years from now, let's say April 2019, I start posting regularly once a week.
Okay.
And I had already one course on for sale at cajonmaster.com. My
Oh, okay.
the Cajon Foundation is a beginner's course. So
Yeah.
everything start like in the same time, let's say the
Yeah.
project, you know.
Okay. How long was it when you started the YouTube channel and then you had that first online course? Was that, you're saying that was a few months into it, or it was right away?
When I start the YouTube channel, I start the website and I start making the course, writing the course. And it was like about 4 months after
Yeah.
that. After 4 months, the course was ready. It was the beginning. I mean, for beginners, no, the Cajon Foundation,
Yeah.
and YouTube start to be more. I start post regularly, one video a week. Try my best to put a
Yeah.
video a week there, here on YouTube. So yeah, uh,
Wow. That's
as
amazing.
you know, lots
Yeah.
of hard work.
Lots of hard work. I mean, it's
Yeah.
that's inspired me that I saw your online courses and a couple others. It's something that I'm finally getting to. I've known for a while that that's what I should be doing, but it's just doing that, and so now I'm working on my workflow, finally figuring it out, because I'm like, well, maybe I should be doing that, and then out of that, creating my videos for YouTube, right? So that would be a
Yeah.
lot easier workflow anyway. But I'm still figuring it out, so I'm being inspired by watching guys like yourself. So
Thanks a lot. Yeah. Yeah, I think you mentioned workflow. Yeah, I would love that they had at least 30 hours because it's so many things to do. It's
yeah,
so many, things.
it
Not
is
just
a
not.
lot of layers, right? For you, probably just getting to your studio, man.
Sorry about.
I said,
Sorry.
you're right. There's a lot of layers to making the video. For you, it's just probably even just getting to the studio could probably be tough some days.
Yes, of course. I have. I need to. I need. I try to be in the studio as much as I can during the day because I have a kid. As you, I have
Yeah,
a 4 years a 4-year-old son, and
nice.
but yeah, I'm trying to be here as much as I can, creating,
Yeah,
not just to be here creating, because you know it's hard. I think you talk with Eric
yeah,
Perez, and he said everything is hard, and sometimes
yeah,
it's not. I love what I do, and I love to help people with the tutorials and the videos, and to inform people about cajon and percussion.
hmm,
But sometimes it's hard because of time, and the
yeah,
schedule you have is not. I try to plan a lot of more to plan what I'm gonna do tomorrow in the whole day, to do a schedule of everything. If not,
Mhm.
it doesn't happen.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah.
That's true. That's where the key is, though, right? It's that preparation. I mean, sometimes lightning strikes and everything works out, and you don't have to do that, But for the most part, that preparation, man, is a big part of it. So I was reading about your bio, and I was really curious to learn more about you. I've been following you on Instagram for a while now. I think ever since you first reached out to me on I think I don't know if it was YouTube. Did you? I think you might have reached out to me via Instagram. I'm not sure if that's what it was, but and then we started talking from there. And
Instagram,
then
yes, Instagram, I
yeah,
think.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, Cajon Master. And then of course, first thing I noticed, I was like, man, these videos are gorgeous, dude. I was like, what camera is he using? But yeah, so I started following you, and just. But I was interested to learn more about your background. So you're in France, right? Or you're in
I'm in France.
where are
Yes,
you located? Okay.
I'm in Nice, south of France now.
Nice, Nice.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
always so for us here in America when we see Nice, it's like Nice. It's like, how do you
Nice.
pronounce it? Is it nice?
Nice, Nice. Yes,
Yes,
Nice.
yes. So you're
Yeah,
in
I
Nice,
like that.
France, but
Yeah.
originally you're from Brazil.
Yes, I'm from Brazil. I'm from the south of Brazil. Yeah,
Okay. What
and
part of so south of Brazil? Tell me about
I
what
was
area.
born in the capital of the Rio Grande do Sul. Is the southeast state. Is the capital is Porto Alegre. I was born there,
Okay.
and then I grew up in a small city in the border with Uruguay, very south.
Wow.
Very at the beginning of Brazil, or the beginning of Brazil, and yeah, it's very different from as we chat before. It's different from the Brazilian of the picture, Rio or
Right,
Bahia.
right,
That
right.
it's a great place south of Brazil, a bit different from the main picture of Brazil.
Is the landscape really, you mentioned mountains too. Is the landscape really different from where you're from
Actually,
versus
we don't have mountains. It's very close to Argentina and Uruguay,
ah,
so it's very flat, and it's
okay.
called the vegetation and the fields are called pampa. It's a flat and very big.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's very beautiful, but
Wow,
it's
wow.
it's not that tropical as Amazon or Rio or
Right.
or other parts of Brazil. But it's
So
beautiful
I
as well.
imagine
This
it's a
is
lot
amazing.
colder. Is it a lot colder
Sorry.
there than I imagine? Is it a lot colder than
Yeah,
where
we
you're from?
have it's not that cold, but we have the winter. Like we have kind of the four seasons there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I say we have, but I'm not there for a long time. I try to go once a year uh,
Yeah. Oh
to
wow.
to see friends and family, but um, I left Brazil about 12, 13 years ago. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Wow. So do you still, I imagine then you have a lot of family still in Brazil. All your family's still there.
Actually, my parents are now in France,
Oh
and
really?
my brother lives in France, and my
Wow.
other brother lives in Spain. So I have family there, cousins, but
Yeah.
not and friends, but not a lot of family. My parents and brothers are in Europe as well. So
Wow.
my parents, because of all this the COVID stuff, they decide to spend some time here
Yeah.
and to stay close to us. Everything goes well here now,
Wow.
and but yeah, I try to go. I miss Brazil now because after the the start the pandemic, and I never come back. It's been almost 2 years already.
Wow. Yeah.
And I miss Brazil because I try to go every year to take my son there as well,
Yes.
and
Can imagine.
he to speak a bit of Portuguese as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, I'm south of Brazil. It was great to grow up there in an environment a bit different from the as I said the Brazilian picture, the
Yeah.
main picture, but with lots of nice stuff, nice music stuff, nice music background as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So question, do you speak French now since you've been there for so long?
Yes, we
Ah. So you
yes, it was
obviously
always like
obviously you speak English, and you speak Portuguese, and now you speak French. Do you speak
yeah.
Spanish too?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, look at this guy, man. Wow,
But
that's incredible.
because of course, I grew up in the border with Uruguay, and
Uruguay, yeah,
apart apart from Brazil, all the other countries in South America speak Spanish. So,
right.
and I used to go a lot to Uruguay, so I learned how to speak Spanish as well. Yeah, and it's more
Wow,
close to Portuguese, so the language.
wow. I think the
Yeah,
word for that is polyglot, a person who speaks many
yeah,
languages.
polyglot. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah, yeah.
Cajon
Try.
master, and then now you need another YouTube channel, polyglot master, language
Ca-
master. Oh man,
Yeah, try. Yeah, but not easy. French, French. I still learning. Learn. My wife is French, so I try to learn every day a little bit more. But it's not easy. Not an easy language, but beautiful.
wow,
Yeah.
wow, man, that's awesome. So, so you most of your family is now in Europe. I can't imagine, like the United States is a big country, and I grew up on the other side of the country in California, in the Los Angeles area. But I've been in North Carolina, which is on the East Coast of the United States now for the last 21 years or so. So this is kind of like home for me now. But it flying across the country is it gets difficult with kids. I had three kids, so flying across and it's expensive, and the culture is a little different. Well, it's not a little different; it's quite different, very different from the southeast of the United States. But it's nothing like where you're talking about a whole nother country, and
It's a
across the
lot.
ocean. So I can imagine when you get homesick, that's a whole nother level of missing home as far as culture is concerned.
used used to be uh, very strong. The homesick was to be strong. Now I got used to. It's not that because it's kind of Brazil, and then after 13 years ago, I moved to Portugal, and then I work a bit there because my two brothers are musicians as well. So
Okay.
we worked together. We had a group. We did all that stuff with the label and album and everything. And after that, we moved to London. I live in London 6 years, and
Really?
was where I was a great experience. I work a lot with music there, and I study as well. I did my, let's say, music formal education. I did in London. I did my
That's
like
right. I did read that. So,
yeah, a master's degree in London. Yeah, that's
wow.
great.
So your master's was in London. So
Yes,
was your undergraduate degree, was all that in Brazil or was that somewhere else? Or
yes, it was in Brazil, but was not related with music. It was
really?
no, it was like uh, marketing
Yeah.
and advertising.
Dude, so you're like me. So when I did my master's in music, and I was
Yeah,
one of I'm curious if this was the case with you. I was probably the only one in my class whose undergraduate was not music.
the same here.
Yeah.
The same here. But where did the people ask me where you finish your undergrad music? Actually, no, I did. I did advertising in Brazil, and I passed the audition here because I'm a musician.
Right.
I start when I was 12 playing drum kit,
Okay. Wow.
and professionally I was working like 16, 17. I was already working as a musician, so
Yeah, 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 yeah,
it's more background of life of a musician
yeah.
than formal education.
Absolutely. Do you think your degree in marketing and you said marketing and advertisement or marketing?
Yeah,
Do you think
yeah.
that helped you as a musician as far as because if you're a musician nowadays, there's really no industry depending on your country. So you're really a business person. You're really an entrepreneur. Do you think that helped you out or
Actually, now I'm seeing more that the result of the advertising background or marketing because I'm using a lot in the project Cajon Master.
yeah?
This yes,
Wow.
this for sure. Uh, but I think the marketing and advertising we are living nowadays are completely different from where when I finished my undergrad, and I think you agree with me.
Yeah.
The online, the online marketing and advertising changed everything, and how we market ourselves, and the sense of community was different. I think
Yeah.
you know what I mean. And but yeah, I think it. it helped a lot. Let's
Wow.
say it have a lot. And of course, when I was studying advertising, I learned a lot about photo advertising and light and
Ah,
cameras. So this I'm using today for sure. This is was a very nice thing from
yeah, that's
the degree.
huge.
And yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So was it a
and
lot of, because I know I studied marketing a little. I was a business minor, and I studied marketing just a little bit, and they did talk about, photography elements like framing and rules of thirds and whatnot as far as for
yeah.
marketing and advertisement. Did they do a lot of that in your degree?
As well, I learned. I focus on because you can in Brazil in the advertising degree you can focus in a particular area, and I focus on photo advertising, and then I learned since, and I was working with film, not
Yeah.
digital at the time because it was about I finished my undergrad about 20 years ago.
Okay. Yep. Yep. Got you. Yeah.
So and then film, and then I learned all the basic stuff about photography, even how to print my own photos.
Wow.
And after that, all the principles and the basic technique, the framing, as you said, light, composition, and all this stuff that helps me a lot. And I worked for 2 years. I work with photo advertising of products, models, like fashion photography. I did
Really?
a little bit of that, and I learned a lot as well about that. So
Wow.
and it was like always after I finished the undergrad and I was more playing concerts and working as a musician, touring and doing albums. I was always with my camera, and it was like a hobby all the time. I never stopped. And now I'm full power with the camera now doing videos.
That explains so much, though. I mean, man, so you've had a camera in your hand for years.
Yeah, about and I forgot to say, but in this university where I finished my undergrad, I teach. I was a teacher in photo advertising for 1 year. Yes, before
Really?
coming to Europe. Yes, I
Wow.
so I study even more when I need to be. I was invited to be a teacher there for 1 year. I said so, and then I studied even more light and the principles and everything. So
Yeah, yeah.
it became very natural for me. But I still working and learning a lot about that.
Well, that's your third YouTube channel for you, Photo Master.
Yeah, for that I need another Felipe, another guy
Another
because
Felipe. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's a lot of work. Or
But you know,
or or I need a
that's that's the essence of it, right? Is if you're like yourself, you're like us, you're probably, when you have different hobbies, different passions, there's a lot of different things that you could have started your YouTube channel on, I'm sure, but having that discipline to say, okay, this is what I'm going to focus on, you know is really huge. I mean, people come for a cajon, and then the next week, if it was language, or if it was cameras, be like, oh, what happened to the
light.
cajon?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. So you went to do your master's in music, and that was, you had been, how long had you been playing at that particular time? Where were you as far as your matriculation, as we say, your age, your how long you've been playing music and all of that?
As I said, I start when I was 12. Then
Yeah.
with my brothers, I start working when I was 16, 17. Uh, we did 5 albums. We did a lot because, of course, I resume a lot. But from the south of Brazil, I went to Rio.
Right.
Let's say Rio is kind of the center of Brazil, Rio, São Paulo. But Rio, we lived there for 3 years. I We worked there. We made an album there, and then we are always back and forth between the south of Brazil and Rio
Mhm.
at that time. And from when I was 17 until when I was 24, I think. And then after that, we got this opportunity to come to Europe, to visit Europe and
Yeah.
play. Was We were invited. Actually, we were invited for one concert uh, in Portugal and Spain, and we finished. We did, I think, about 20 concerts in 2 months. We stayed and we did like a mini tour, let's say.
Yeah.
And I never stopped. And I, on the middle, even play with my brothers. I was always meeting musicians and exchanging. doing gigs and all kind of gigs, concerts and gigs. And
Yeah.
after that, and then in London, I stayed there for 6 years. I play a little bit with my brothers, and then I start studying and continue playing with a lot of different people, singers,
Yeah.
songwriters, and I'm just resuming fast to not be like a monologue here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
No. 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 What was that? Were you on a label at the time? You mentioned something about a label. Were you guys
we
independent, or you were?
we had some label contracts in Brazil, and then nothing huge, but labels that work in south of Brazil and then in Rio. After that, in Portugal, we had a label as well. Portugal is a small country, so that label was worked very well with us for 1 2 years, and we
Okay.
did a good tour in Portugal. We did a radio, all this promotion
Wow.
stuff. And then in London, we were independent, and we did our first album in English. Because of this, we moved to London and to try something new.
Yeah.
And in London, we did very nice fest. In London, in England, we play festivals, and we met. Was so nice, and we met lots of people and
Yeah.
musicians. And then we decided to do a break with the band and to study and to do different stuff. And
Wow.
then all that connections with musicians, I start playing that, as I said, in London. And but after that, I said, okay, I'm in London. I finished my master's degree,
Yeah.
and I said, okay, back to Brazil, maybe. I don't know, because I saw that my time in London was that's it. It's a great city. It's very exciting to be there, and but
Yeah.
there's, I I needed something else.
Right.
I came to France to visit a friend for a week because Nice and London is close. You
Yeah.
take a
Right.
flight
Hmm.
1 hour and a half, 2 hours. Where here is Europe. There's these
Yeah. Yeah.
flights from countries that are very
Yeah.
small. So then I came to Nice. I said, "Wow, it's beautiful, nice." I met some musicians, and then I met my wife.
Wow. So you just came to visit a friend and you met your wife.
I
Wow.
met the girl that today is my wife, and then I decided, okay, I move. I went
Yeah.
to London, spent some time there, took
Wow.
my drums, my cajons, and
That's awesome.
moved to Nice, south of France. It's been 6 years I'm here, yeah, almost 6 years, yes,
Wow.
and it's great, yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
I never imagined to live in France, but yeah, I'm here now. It's
Man.
nice. It's very nice.
Yeah, it's just amazing how life takes us through all of these unexpected turns, right?
Yeah, I was imagining that now I'm talking this story. I'm explaining my a bit of my story, and it's a lot of stuff, right? A lot of
Yeah. Yeah.
we go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's good.
it's
That's a
great.
great legacy for your children. That'll be as they get older, all those stories. The older they get, the more they're gonna want to learn about, where were you, Dad? Why did you go to here? And oh, you were there. But
Yeah,
but it
for
all
sure.
makes sense when my dad has this saying, and I don't know if he came up with it. I think he got it from someone, but I think he might have said it. But anyways, mastery camouflages hard work, right? And
Okay.
it's really, just like, making something look easy. It's often people that are really good at something, have a long background, can make something look easy because it's effortless for them because of the amount of work they put in. But when I when
Yeah,
I hear your story, when I look at your channel and then I hear your story, it's like, oh, okay. Well, now all of this makes sense. It's like all of those years and everything just kind of coming to a head. And the reason that you have, I mean, your lighting is incredible. Even now, I'm looking at this amazing halo over the back of your head. It's like all this, man. I need to go to Felipe Fagundes School of videography.
man. About this, I'm so geek about that. I'm before not before the channel, along the channel, for each all the time. I'm seeing the new lights.
Yeah.
What is the
Oh,
effect of that particular light, and
yeah.
budget or not budget, and you understand? And light. I mean, I have a nice camera, of course, but the light is everything.
Light is everything. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so true.
Light is
So
everything.
true.
Yeah.
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 Wow.
And even, I mean, of course, I follow a lot of photography and video channels. Uh,
Yeah.
and the guy said cameras are great, but as you know now, cameras each 1 year
Oh,
the camera
they're all
change
good.
and it's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
good anymore.
Right,
But
right.
light is something that you always gonna have the light. So
That's true.
invest in light
Yes. Yeah,
is a good stuff. You know, light is always is something that you always gonna need and use. You know,
that's
and
true.
uh,
That's true.
and cameras, of course.
Right, right.
They are very nice. I love
Yeah,
cameras.
yeah, yeah.
If I
Well,
would buy a lot of cameras.
and then we have it honest. So now you got, as far as like gear lust, right? You've got instruments. There's always, oh, I need to get this one. And so now you got
Yeah,
audio equipment, and now you got camera, and so you got video equipment, audio equipment, instruments. It's like, it never ends, man. The
never
wallet
ends.
gets empty.
Yeah, microphones now and
Oh man,
cajons and
yeah.
it's a lot. Yeah,
Yeah, it is. It is, man. Man. So you teaching also? You also teach at a school, or were teaching at a school there?
I used to, but now I'm full time. Let's say full time cajon master. I teach at cajonmaster.com and on YouTube. This is the project. I don't have time anymore to take
Wow.
students. I used when it started the pandemic. Yes, I took some students via Skype,
Okay.
Zoom calls, but then unfortunately I don't have time to take students now because and I still play. I do gigs and concerts here
Yeah. Yeah.
in south of France and in Europe. So I but of course if somebody needs help, always they contact me and I help. And sometimes I don't do a lesson, but we have a chat because this is the main thing of Cajon Master is to help people to first know the instrument and
Yeah.
then improve. You know,
Right.
this is
Right.
the main thing.
So your
Yeah,
your main instrument, we were chatting before we came on live. Your main instrument is the drum set, right?
drum set. Yeah.
How did you stumble on the cajon? Why so much with the cajon and cajon master? How did that all come about?
Uh, just to start the cajon, I started playing cajon. My first cajon I purchased when I was in London about 12 years, 10 years ago. Yeah,
Okay.
10 years ago. I played before cajon in Brazil, but just basic stuff and very two hands, you know, that
Yeah,
the
yeah.
beginning stages. Then I started learning more about the instrument.
Yeah, yeah.
And then when I arrived here in the south of France 6 years ago, I was invited to play in a like kind of acoustic band,
Okay.
and everybody used to play the snare drum and just the snare. I said, "Yeah, but okay." And then I said, I'm going to play the cajon
Yeah, yeah.
because you do have the bass as well."
Yeah.
Then and this band had a lot of work, and I worked so much, and I started studying and developing all different stuff for the cajon and learning, of course, with how to properly play the popular music on cajon, let's say pop and reggae and all the grooves I had on for the drum kit. I started trying to transfer in a way at the cajon. At the beginning was the dynamic was not great, but then start developing, and then I'm here now with the YouTube channel because I was always I would like to do a channel and all this online business. I was always fascinated by that because of the image and
Yeah.
the video and photo and all this. And then I was about to do something, not just not only cajon but drums and percussion and cajon. How to do cajon drum sets? You know, the mix of.
Yeah.
And then I said, no, I'm going to do the cajon because I love this instrument, and I feel that people who like that, and then of course we never know. And then I start, and uh, I I have to say that I procrastinate a little bit because to start something, so I need to start that.
Right, right,
Then
right.
my wife always, let's go for it, go for it,
Wow.
And then after summer 2018, I decide. Okay, that's it. And I did my first video on in September, and all together,
Yeah.
the first video that was a reggaeton group on
Okay.
Cajon, and
Yeah.
then uh, the website all together, and start like that. And I start to receive very good feedback. People talking about that. Ah, nice. I need that. And it's nice that to do that. Okay, and then I start to feel that wow, this is gonna be this can be very helpful
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
a lot of people. And then uh, I love to do that. I love to
Yeah.
do that. I love to to make a video and to see the reaction of people about not about the light, about the quality, but the groove
Right. Right.
and the tutorial I'm going to do or the review I'm going to do. I love all the process now. Yeah,
Yeah.
and the cajon, of course. I'm very geek about cajon as well, and I have a lot of cajons here
Dude,
now.
you do. You have a
Yeah,
lot of cajones now. Man, I was watching your last video and I think there was about 12 or
12. Yeah,
14 in the thumbnail. So it's like,
12
man, that's
that I played, but there are
yeah.
more. Yeah, yeah. I'm
Wow.
very grateful for that as well.
Yeah,
That I'm
yeah.
working with Mino, and I have a lot of different cajons now to test, and it's
That's
very nice and
awesome.
to
So
help people because
are you officially with Mino now?
yeah, I'm a Mino artist since 1 year, March 2020. Yeah, 1 year and 2 months. Yeah, I'm working
Awesome.
with
Yeah,
them.
they are making some beautiful that one that's behind you. Which drum is that behind you?
Yeah, this is very nice to tell the story about Mino because I was invited. As a when I was a teenager playing drums and started to be professional. I said, I'd like to
Yeah.
have that drum kit, that cymbals, the percussion
Yeah.
instruments. Wow, this is and with Cajon Master, I never thought about that, to be honest,
Yeah.
because I was more into, to do the lessons and, and the
Right.
videos and all this. And and of course, I think, and people start watching my videos and I start, you know, to appear more and more. And I was contacted by Hannes from Mino when
Yeah.
I was in the channel for 1 year. I think I had 1,000 subscribers. They was at the beginning, and then they invite me and they say, and wow, nice. I never thought about that, but let's talk about. So and then I start working with them, but because of the cajons as well. Uh, I start to research about cajons and how to cajons are made, the best cajons, the material and everything. And I
Yeah.
discovered this artisan from Spain called Pepote,
Okay.
uh, and I thought I saw this cajon, a beautiful cajon in a shop in Spain when I was visiting my brother in Malaga, Spain. I saw this
Okay.
beautiful cajon in the shop. I
Malaga.
said, "Wow!" And I saw Pepote. Then I discovered that Pepote was making a series for Mino. Okay,
Oh, really?
the artisan cajons from Mino are made in Spain, handmade by Pepote.
Really?
And I said, "Wow, this is great!" But this before Mino contacted me, and I said, "Wow, that's great. I should get this cajon that I love it." And then I received the contact of Mino and said, "Wow, just not just because of the cajons, because of the instruments. It's not. Mino has a good, it's a very. They have a very nice philosophy about education. So because of this was something that I said, let's work together and let's grow the cajon community. This for me is the most important. And Mino has a good, has a very good philosophy about education. And yeah, that cajon is it's a beautiful. I'm gonna take this cajon.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, because I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, that thing is gorgeous.
Yeah,
Look at that. Wow.
I'm gonna a
So
bit of
Pepote, Pepote is
advertising, but
the
no. Pepote Percussion is the manufacturer in Spain.
okay. Okay.
He is handcrafted, and this cajon is very special because it's a solid wood. It's the same piece of wood cut to make one cajon.
Really?
And yeah, yeah, it's a solid wood. It's
Wow.
one piece they cut to make, and the
Oh,
front
wow.
plate is made of Brazilian ironwood. This model.
Ah.
and especially just this mod is made. Yeah, it's a gorgeous cajon. It's beautiful, and it sounds. It's a flamenco cajon. It's important to say that all the artisan line is
Yeah.
flamenco,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I love it. I love to
I
what
love
to.
I love how
Yeah,
snappy and crisp
yeah. It's great.
flamenco cajons are.
Yeah, have
Yeah.
this
Oh, look at
like
that.
a pop filter here, and
Yeah.
inside is a kind of, you have four 20 strings inside.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Man.
you can tune
So
the strings from here. Yeah.
so there's still guitar strings then it's not snares.
No, because Pipota is a flamenco cajon.
Right, right.
The
So this is
artisan
strictly
line,
guitar. Mhm.
yeah, the artisan line from Mino is all flamenco cajons with strings in the inside.
Yeah.
Uh, Normally, I suggest people to play pop music, and if they want that separation of sound between bass and snare, I suggest snare cajons.
Right.
But I love the sound of these flamenco cajons, the artisan. Even if I hear some sizzle when I play the bass,
Yeah.
it doesn't bother me, and I
Right.
really like this series. But it depends of the work I'm doing, recording or video. I change. I play some snare cajons as well. But
Right.
these cajons, and then the thing with Mina was like that. Was not about the instruments. Was about more the, you know, how we can grow this community together.
Yeah. Yeah.
The cajon, because as we are talking before, cajon is not that new instrument, but it's very new for a lot of people. This concept of popular music in the cajon,
Right. Right. Right.
and it's important to to put this out, and you know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I love the that it still is in so many corners of the world. It's still new to a lot of people, although it's a very old instrument. I'm still meeting people that are like, "What is that? What is that you were playing on? It was a box. Was there a speaker inside of that?" And and I'm like, "You haven't seen the cajon yet? Wow." I'm thinking, but there still are a lot of people that have not, and I think that's it, related to that, it's nice to be able to share the history behind it as well. I know in a lot of areas, like I play the cajon in church a lot, and a lot of church and where they're doing like pop rock music, right? And so I've met many people who actually think that didn't know that the cajon, they believe the cajon was made for people that play in church, that play pop music. And I'm like, no, this is a very traditional instrument out of Peru that has its own traditions, beautiful music, and it just opens their mind to a whole nother world. So, I mean, like a lot of instruments and a lot of things, it's also a bridge builder, for culture, for people, for people to be exposed to a whole nother world that they wouldn't have otherwise, you know.
of
Yeah,
course,
yeah, yeah,
yes, of course, and even the name cajon is something. Uh, I think in Philippines is clap box or something like that. They call it different.
yeah.
And
Really, what do they call it in the Philippines?
clap box.
Really? They call it a
I
clap
think,
box.
yeah, I think
Wow.
so. Yeah, and but yeah, uh, first is is something that I didn't realize at the beginning, but it's very important for me to. I say, what is a cajon? I think every week I have this question. What is a cajon?
Right.
And I still it depends the part of the words, because I think loads of people want to start playing an instrument, and the cajon is great for that. Is
It's
a
accessible. It's right there, I mean,
yeah,
uh but yeah, yeah, and I the fact that, there's obviously lots of sounds you can get from a cajon, but the fact that there is this separation of obviously low and high tone, it's
yeah,
something that they can start making music right away, you know, and I think that's encouraging for someone, whereas like the guitar is an amazing instrument. I love the guitar, but I mean, doing all of this or the violin, those are difficult instruments. Of course, this is all subjective, but those are difficult instruments for beginners. because first you have to even make a sound before you have to learn how to make a sound. With the cajon, at least you can make a sound, just like drums in general, right? At least I can make a nice sound right away, you know, and that will inspire the person to continue to play. Whereas, something like, for like a child, for instance, they start playing the violin, it's easy for them to get discouraged. After a few months, they're still going, you know.
Exactly. Yeah, it's
So
much more intuitive to play
intuitive,
the cajon at first. But of course, for everybody, you need to start to play cajon, of course, but with the right technique. Because of that, it's nice to follow the tutorials, not only my tutorials, but William's tutorials, and on YouTube, all the tutorials.
yes,
Then do courses, because what is intuitive sometimes you can even reproduce what you see, but technique, sound, and everything to play music, there is always we need to practice, of course. But for sure, the cajon is easier
yeah.
if you just start in the first day. You finish, you play some groove for sure.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And that's one of the beautiful things about an instrument like the cajon, though. It's simple, but the level that you can rise on it is limitless, right? It's a virtuosic instrument. It may be simple to a certain degree in its construction and sound, but actually, then you start seeing guys. What is his name? Is it Pablo? He's one of my favorite cajon players out of Spain. I think it's Pablo. I was trying to think of his name. But anyways, guys like that play these amazing, with such dynamics and such range and all of the ghost notes, as we were talking about,
Yeah,
using stuff like Turkish finger, technique with split hand
yeah,
Turkish
the finger
fingers.
roll, yeah.
Yep, yep, and all of that. It just, it's incredible. But and then a lot of the stuff that obviously the guys from Peru that do is just, they'll
Yeah,
take you.
the rhythms
Oh yeah,
from Peru, they
yeah,
are they are
yeah.
great to learn at the beginning. They're completely is a different word.
It
And
is.
then the flamenco rhythms, the flamenco players are,
Oh
are great. There's the
yes,
uh, one of I don't like to say the best, but one of a very good one and famous is Piranha.
yeah,
He's
yeah,
from. I saw some stuff.
yes,
It's unbelievable. The touch, the way of playing. It's
yes,
very inspiring, and this is a very nice approach for the cajon, the bulería and flamenco.
yeah,
It's it's great. It's very
yeah.
nice.
And that's,
Yeah,
I remember when I started studying the tabla, right, from India, and it
yeah,
has this allure for a lot of people outside of, India and certain parts of Pakistan, but it has this allure because it's so different, and it's such a complex instrument. It's not something, the way you play with your hands, it's not something you would naturally do, right? You have to learn. And then it's melodic. It's a melodic instrument. But there's a lot of people that will say things like, "Oh, well, that's the most sophisticated instrument," and but when you start learning about Afro-Peruvian grooves, and then some of the flamenco, and a lot of people just know buleria, but they don't know there's
yeah,
many different types of bulerias. There are many different types of forms within that community and within that genre and style. And when you start really diving in there, you find out, oh, wow, this is just as sophisticated. This is highly complex and nuanced rhythms. The way the polyrhythms and the syncopation and all of that. You know, but yeah, yeah, it's
no, for
fascinating.
sure. The bulerias are incredible, and the way
Yeah,
they count, they think, the touch, it's
yes,
great. Yeah,
yes,
I'm learning. I'm learning. I'm studying that one day. I hope to play a little bit of
yeah,
buleria. Yeah,
yeah,
but it's
yeah, yeah.
great. It's great. Yeah,
Man,
yeah,
I've been a lover of flamenco for since I was a kid, right? And for me, it's just like, if there's any other instrument that I would love when I hear it, a lot of musicians, we have our instruments that when we hear, we just like, oh, there's something about that tone. For me, outside of the congas, it was the Spanish guitar, the Spanish guitar, cello, but there's something about that. But as I listened to flamenco more, I realized it was also the percussion. it was that flamenco, it was the palmas, and the combination of all of them, and
Yeah.
just like, oh man, this just such a beautiful sound. But it is, the more I try to play it, I'm just like, if I had 9 lives, then I would go ahead and try to master it. But it's just like, it requires and commands a certain amount of attention if you're really going to get good at it, right? You have to spend a certain amount of time with it.
For everything, for sure.
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah,
violin, the cajon, the drum kit, the guitar. You need
yeah,
to spend some time in what you want to do. If you want to do Brazilian music, samba,
yeah,
and everything, you need to listen to spend some time on it. If
yeah,
not, you know,
yeah,
nothing gonna come easy like that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So tell me, we've been talking for a while. I don't want to hold you up too much longer, but tell me how the name Cajon Master. How did you come up with that name? Because
This is very
I know that you are the Cajon Master. No, I don't want to put you on the spot like that, but I'm curious.
no.
How'd you come up with the name Cajon Master?
Man, I never thought on this sense. I mean, I'm a Cajon master. I'm going to do cajonmaster.com. No, no, no. It's not about that. It's to have a brand. And I think the name Cajon Master, I think, was great for of course, when I buy the domain cajonmaster.com, it's available. Nice. Not because of that. I think because I think to motivate people to master something is always nice. And this is my thing, to master that little thing every day, not to
Yeah,
be a master. Okay. I don't consider myself a master. I'm working every day to make videos, the tutorials to help people and to learn from people as well. So it's more like a name, a brand, but for sure, I want people to master every day a little bit
yeah,
of their playing. This for me, and of course, sometimes people say, "But you cannot call yourself cajon master." But man,
yeah.
uh,
What's
if
funny,
you,
Felipe? What's funny is when I first saw your channel and it was like Cajon Master, but the moment you started talking, I was like, oh, I could tell right away. That's not this guy's energy. He's not coming off like, hey, Cajon Master, that's me. Come learn from me. You don't even put that kind of energy out there. So it
no,
was interesting to me though to learn why you came up with that name or how you came up with that.
yeah, and I think also because of, as we were talking before about the advertising aspect, cajon master is a strong name,
It is.
brand name, let's say.
Yeah, yeah,
uh, and I think can motivate people. This is what is my intention.
yeah, yeah,
And of course, but again, I need to master a lot of stuff and try to master stuff. But
yeah, yeah. No,
Cajon Master is the
you
project.
and me both. You and me, I'm right there with you, man. I'd rather be a master of something, a couple things, or one thing, than a jack
Yeah,
of all the trades and a master of none, right? So,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That's it.
yeah, man. Wow, that's cool, dude. So, what do you have on the horizon coming? You have any projects that you're working on? Something that you're working on now that you're excited about?
Yeah, I'm now. I have on my website 3 courses, like a full program, let's say, from beginner to intermediate level. Now I'm preparing the intermediate to advanced level. This is
Okay.
is what I'm doing now. Uh, I'm working more with the different techniques for the cajon, the finger rolls,
Yeah,
doubles,
yeah.
and how to apply this in the grooves, in the styles, and
Right.
also together with that some extra package, let's say the Brazilian package, with Brazilian grooves.
Oh,
This because I I I do a lot of concerts. I have a project with my wife of bossa nova and samba here in France, and where I play drums and sometimes cajon. But what I'm trying is to transfer these grooves, the samba and bossa nova grooves, to the cajon and
yeah,
show this to people. This is very interesting because it's a drum kit groove of samba
yeah,
and some other kind of Brazilian rhythms like baião, forró,
yeah,
uh, rhythms from Bahia, from north of Brazil.
yeah.
I'm putting everything together in a package to show people how I apply that and how they can apply to Brazilian music.
Right, right. Oh, wow, that's gonna be exciting, man. So
Yeah.
your group, you mentioned your wife. Did she's a musician as well?
My wife is a singer, yes, and
Ah, cool.
she has her project. Is a bossa nossa is the name. Oh, actually, we did a video at the beginning of the pandemic last year, a
With Eric.
collab with Eric and
Yeah,
Congas.
yeah.
Yes, we did like a samba version of Jamiroquai Virtual Insanity,
Okay.
and I invite Eric. Was I play the cajon, and then the bassist of the group, Kevin, that has a YouTube channel as well, a contrabass, and
Yeah.
then my brother on the guitar,
Uh-huh.
another YouTuber that lives here in France, Jay Metcalf from Better Sax, has a
Okay.
saxophone YouTube channel. My wife, Marie, and
Uh-huh.
uh, and Eric and Congas was great to do this collab. And so my wife has this project Bossa Nossa, where I can work as a duo, trio, quartet, quintet, or with Eric, six musicians, and she
Yeah.
toured around Europe here as well. And yes, we
Ah,
work together,
that's awesome.
and
Was that her that jumped
and
in
this
the
is
chat?
great.
Was
Marie,
it her?
yes, she's here.
Yes, that's awesome. Yeah, yeah.
Hello, Marie.
Isn't it
Hello,
great?
babe.
It's you are a blessed man to have a supportive wife like that. And my wife is like that. I heard you mention something about your wife saying, go for it, go for it. And
Yeah,
I think about I come in my studio and and I think to myself, which my studio's in my house, and there's no way I could do all of this if my wife was not, not supportive of it. It's just, of course, the old saying, happy wife, happy life. That's what we
yeah,
say
and the same here. Not just the support at the beginning, but the support every day. Without
every
my
day.
wife, it would not be easy, or without the support of my wife. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, thank you, Mahi. Thank you very much. And our son, he is playing all the instruments already now. So I think
Wow.
your kids as well. So
Yep.
the
Yeah. Oh, they
cajons, of
love it.
course.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, yep. Yeah, they love it. I have three children. The two oldest are creeping into their teenage years now. So they're 13 and 11, and then I have a 9-year-old. But my 11-year-old, she does chorus at school and she just absolutely loves to sing. But all of them, man, they make me mad sometimes how easy they pick up music. Cuz I'm like, I worked so hard and they just pick it up like that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
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 And actually, I have my two brothers, musicians. My parents were not; they are not musicians. But I think for your children, my son, for example, to grow up uh, with musicians in the houses, it's
Oh,
great.
yeah,
The
it is.
background
Yeah.
is gonna be great, and they're gonna pick up everything very
Yeah.
fast, faster than us. Probably, this is
Oh
great.
yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's
yeah,
amazing,
for
man.
sure.
That's awesome. Well, Felipe, I don't want to hold you too much longer then, but
It's a pleasure,
any
man.
other shout outs you want to give out, man? I know we got your channel at Cajon Master on YouTube, and we have
Cajon
Cajon
Master,
Master. Huh?
Cajon Master on YouTube, and cajonmaster.com, where you can have a lot of free content, free lessons with PDF, backing tracks. And if you are just starting on the Cajon, I suggest to start my free course that is available there as well at cajonmaster.com. And
Yes.
that's it. I'm going to be here every week as much as I can,
Yeah.
continue doing the videos to help people to know more the cajon and to learn how to play the cajon. So,
Yeah. And I
and
recommend
William,
everyone check out your most recent videos that you did about all the cajons, the different cajons you were playing. What's a good cajon? I think that those are great.
there's there are two videos. One from 1 year ago that is Cajon Buyer's Guide: How to Buy a Cajon according to type of cajon, price, and what you are looking for. And the second part I consider I released last week, where is I played 12 cajons, 12 different cajons for you to compare the sound and see which one you like best, according also to budget, type, and then please let me know in the comments as well of the video which one you like best. If you need any help, I'll be happy to help.
Man, that's awesome, dude. You're the man, Felipe.
William, what a pleasure. Thanks a lot for that.
Oh no, man, it's my pleasure. You say hi, Layla.
Hi.
Hi, Leila.
Yeah, they're doing their Saturday morning chores. Yep.
Yeah, your morning. I'm here. I'm around. I'm at 5 o'clock here now, afternoon.
Oh wow, yeah, yeah. Your day is it's time for dinner for you now.
Almost there. Yeah. Now it's nice because everything is open now. The restaurants now.
Oh yeah,
Normal life is getting back in France.
that's good to hear.
This week start. Yeah. But I hope everybody's safe at home, please.
Yeah,
If you
yeah,
need to be at home, be at home.
yeah. Definitely, definitely, man. Well, all right, Felipe. Thank you so much, man, for coming on. Go ahead and end the chat. Thank you, everyone who's been watching, whether you're watching live or you're watching in the future somewhere. God bless you. Love you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you. And I'll see you all soon.
Thanks a lot. Bye.